If you're an online coach or selling some sort of info product and looking for a simple yet repeatable way to generate 5 to 10 high ticket clients every week, you're probably making the same mistake 90% of other coaches make when it comes to getting clients using a simple Instagram story strategy. And I've tested it all. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how this works. So before you move forward, this will only work for coaches that have something they can actually sell and deliver on. The problem most people make when they do this is they create a strategy that's so complex and it's hard to follow. So after 7 years of perfecting a strategy, I've created the simplest one that I want to share with you in this video today. So stick until the end and I'll show you how my clients and I are actually using this strategy and turning it to an evergreen system that brings in high ticket clients every week on autopilot. So here's the strategy. I'm just going to jump straight into it. Is Monday, you want to ask some sort of engagement question. You really just want to spark conversations with the low-hanging fruit of the leads. So what I posted in here is a strategy. We're going to use an e-com coach or an e-com product for an example here, but you really just want to start with a poll. The reason you want to do this is because it's going to actually boost engagement and put your stories to the top of the feed when you get people to actually select a option, because it's telling the algorithm that they're interested and they're engaging in what you have here. So one of the examples we have is, what's your number one struggle right now when it comes to scaling your e-com brand? Is it getting consistent sales? Is it finding the right products? Is it increasing profit margin or other? DM me. And I love this other feature because it gives your prospects an option to say, hey, I'm an open door. Let me know how I can help. That's going to be for slide 1. Slide 2, you want to use some sort of follow-up statement. Now, I hear these struggles all the time. The good news is they're 100% fixable with the right strategy. And then you're just going to lead into a CTA with the DMs. If you don't know CTA, it's call to action. So drop your struggle in the poll and I'll send you a quick DM with some advice. So you could have like some sort of question box. You could have another poll. You can really get creative with this. The whole point is you want to treat your prospects and train them that you're an open door to help them solve their problems. And if you do this the right way, what I like to do is, once I get a question, I just create a video. Maybe I'll go create a YouTube video on it or whatever it might be. The easiest way is if you just time block this, and once a week, maybe the next day, 12 hours later or so, you come through and you just block off in your calendar time to reply to everyone with a Loom video. Now, obviously, if you have a lot of messages in here, you're going to have to pick and choose which ones are the most beneficial, or you could have a full team of setters in here that are just trained how to respond to this. And then once you have that, it's all going down in the DMs. You're building rapport from them. You're setting them. And then if they're a good fit, you can invite them to hop on a call. Now, I'm going to go into the next part of the structure, which is pretty simple. Is on a Tuesday, you have some sort of mini lesson. You basically just want to teach something valuable. So you could just kind of take all the information from everybody previously and then just put it into some sort of training on either a YouTube video that you could direct all the traffic to, or you could just essentially explain like an answer through like a video where you're just taking your phone like this and just saying, hey, based off everything that I saw yesterday, these are the main things, blah, blah, blah. And like just providing value, because the goal here is just provide quick value and just show that you are the expert in your industry. So I put, if you want to type it up, you could do some slides as well. I personally really like videos because they're really easy to do and you don't have to put much thought or process behind it. So if you want to do a slides, you could say why most e-com brands struggle to scale past 10K a month and how to fix it. Ideally, you want to use this same thing right here that is relatable to what you're getting the most of right here. So you could just do, if you find most people are saying, hey, I'm just looking to increase my profit margins. Well, then you could come here and say why most e-com brands struggle with profit margin when scaling to 100K plus a month or whatever it might be, and how to fix it. And then get them to go to the next slide. Slide 2, and say, here are the common mistakes. The whole point on here is you just want to relate to what their pain points are. So put their pain points in here. They focus on launching new products instead of optimizing winners. They rely on paid ads instead of building organic, or instead of doing retargeting strategies. They don't have a system to increase your average order value or lifetime value. Whatever it might be, you really want to come in here and just put in like the main mistakes that you see most of your clients struggling with, or just answering the question. And then slide 3, you want to provide a solution for them. Again, a lot of this is just positioning yourself as the expert. And when you're providing more value, you're going to get more people reaching out to you and wanting to do business with you. So you could say something like scaling is simple, or increasing your profit margin is actually super simple. All you have to do is boom, 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 right? And I like, if you're going to do this, I put this simple one right here, but you could also do the same thing as like have like 3 green check marks and say, here's the simple solution. And then slide 4 is a call to action. Want the exact framework I use to increase my profit margins from 10% to 40% in my ecom business? DM me the word ecom and I'll send you a quick video breakdown. Whatever it might be. What I really like with this, when you say a quick video, a quick breakdown, if you have some sort of VSL that already answers all of this, it's just an easy way to get people to watch more of your content. Because when it comes to this sort of strategy, especially if they're organic, there's not going to be like, if they're warm and organic, it's really not going to take that much to get somebody to convert. Now, when you're having a lot of cold traffic coming through, which I'll talk more about here later on this video, you're going to have to warm them up more with videos. And that's why I think VSLs do play a really good part in this. But for the sake of simplicity, let's just keep it as simple as this with a, hey, message me and I'll send you a quick breakdown. Which goes into Wednesday is using some sort of case study or proof, like showing that you can get these results. If you don't have a lot of case studies, a lot of times what I tell my clients are, you are your best case study. So if you have things documented, you could just use that. So the goal here is just build social proof and show off like clients. The more clients you can show off, the more proof that they're going to believe and understand that you are the legit person in this space. So some slides you could do on this. Again, if you can do videos, or you can get as creative as you want with this, really. But I just gave you some sort of like template breakdown of how we've done it in the past and how our clients use it. But you could just say, John Doe went from struggling to get consistent leads to scaling to 50K months in just 60 days. Here's how. John Doe went from stuck at 10% profit margins to skyrocketing to 45% profit margins in just 60 days. Here's exactly what I changed in his business. See what the point is? Like, you just want to talk about what that main pain point is. You really just want to have a theme as you're going through here and presenting this. So before working with us, John was stuck at 10% profit margins. He was spending way too much money on ads, testing way too many different angles, had too big of a team, whatever it might be. Put those points right here. After working together, we tweaked just one thing inside his business and it changed everything. The more specific you are, the better. If you have like a specific strategy, that's great. For us, we have the social growth funnel, and a lot of this solves, like, for example, in our industry, we could say something like John was stuck at 10 appointments a month. And then after we installed the social growth funnel in his business, he's getting 10 appointments a day. And then everything changed. Do you see what I'm saying? You just want to substitute in here, and you can test so many different things here. That's why I said like strategy, or you could have like exactly like what you changed in there. The more specific you are, the better results that your prospect is going to get, and the better they're going to look at you as the authority. And then that's going to go into slide 4, which is the result. Now he's hitting consistent 45% profit months inside his business, whatever it might be. If you can add a screenshot, that would do way better. Again, whenever you say something, you really want to back it up with as much proof as you possibly can. So like, example, if you're sticking in the ecom brand coaching side of stuff, like Shopify screenshots or, Stripe payments. I know in my coaching space, I personally hate posting income statements like I made this much money or my client did this, but like, that's what people love. And you have to understand it's not about what you want, it's what's going to convert your prospect. So, these type of things work really well. Client quotes are decent. They're not huge because a lot of times anyone can just type up a quote. But maybe if you have a video of them, like a case study, like a testimonial video, that would do really well here. And then end with a call to action. Want to see if this could work for you? Just DM me keyword and let's have a chat. And then it just all goes down in the DMs from there. So Thursday, we're going to come through here and we're going to handle some objections and destroy some myths. We call this shifting the beliefs. So really the goal here is just reframing limiting beliefs and removing objections from the sale. A lot of times if you do this right, if you're doing a sales call, which is more like the high ticket, which is what we teach, they become like slicing butter on these calls, because if you can handle the objection before the even sales call happens, it's one of the easiest sales and usually the best clients you work with. So again, I would go back of more of like the poll side of stuff to kind of reboost the engagement, because typically when you post a lot on your story, your your views start going down, and that's okay because we're looking just for the people that are the hottest leads. We're not trying to convert your entire audience, right? We're just looking for like the hottest leads. So I always like doing some sort of like poll to reboost that engagement for someone that maybe fell off on like a Tuesday or a Wednesday, and just like a yes or no, like a simple thing just for them to click. So be honest. Do you think you need a huge budget to scale an ecom brand? Or be honest. Are you where are you at? Be honest. Like what profit margin are you at inside your company? And you could have less than 10%, 10 to 20%, whatever it might be. And guess what? When people fill this out, that's another reason for you to just reach out to them and have another conversation. Like if someone said, hey, I'm less than 10%, I'd reach out and be like, hey, John, saw your vote on my story saying you're less than 10%. You want to dive into that? I might have some free resources I could send your way that might help, or something along the lines of that. And then slide 2 is more of like a truth bomb, is just being like, well, the truth is you don't need all this stuff. You don't need a big budget to have a profitable strategy, or you don't need a big team to have a successful ecom brand, or whatever it might be. Slide 3, again, showing a little bit more proof, more of like a statement of like, this is what I've done and this is why I'm credible. So you could say something like, I've helped 15 clients in the last 30 days scale to 50K months, just starting at 2K in ad spend by focusing on the right products and maximizing profits. If we're going back to the profit margin side of stuff, I've helped five ecom brands in the last 30 days increase their profit margins from 10% all the way up to 48% by spending less in ads and having less team members inside their company. You want to see how it's done? DM me the word 50K and I'll break it down for you. Or DM me the word 50K and let's have a conversation. Again, a lot of this is just showing them, like finding their pain point and showing them that you're the authority in the space and that you can help them solve it. And I love these type of statements where it's just like, I've done this. So if you guys study any of the stuff I do, you'll see a lot of times I'll be like, I've helped X amount of clients in the last 30 days do XYZ or whatever it might be, just talking about that specific problem and answering it. And my biggest recommendation when you're doing this, stick to one theme. So if the theme is profit margins, stick to that for the week. And then the next week, you can rinse and repeat the same thing and then just do a different theme as you go through. So then that kind of leads to our final on Friday. I like to do Monday through Fridays, and then Saturdays and Sundays more of like a lifestyle type of thing. And when you're doing this, like don't hesitate to post your lifestyle and do stuff, but you want to be strategic with your stories. A lot of times I see people just posting anything and everything and any tags they get on their stories. And it's like, you got to be very strategic with this. You got to be very strategic with the first post that goes out. Because if the first post on your story is a video of you eating a hamburger, going out to dinner with one of your friends, you're going to lose a lot of that traction later on, right? So you got to really be strategic with the first post or the first story post that's coming out so that all of this flows together. So Friday is really just straight call to action. We call it a sales push. Your goal here is to drive urgency and close sales before the weekends or schedule appointments going into the next week, whatever it might be. So slide 1 would just be, you could say final call. I'm more of a believer in saying, hey, well, I'm taking on 5 more ecom brands that want to increase their profit margin from 10% to 38% in the next 30 days. If you're interested in this, go to the next slide. And then slide 2 is essentially, who's this for? This is for you if you want to do this, right? Or it could be, by working with me, I will do this, right? You just want to be very specific with what it is. Again, you could do a video on here. That's why I kind of typed this up to put in a simple framework that you can model in a bunch of different ways. And then just end with a call to action. DM me keyword and let's talk. No pressure. Let's just see if it's a good fit. What I always like to do is I like to have a more of a subtle type of approach here, saying this will only work for coaches that have at least 10K to invest into ads. If that's you, message me keyword and let's have a conversation. Whatever it might be, you can have something that's a more of a like filtering especially if you have a larger audience, kind of like what we do, because right now is the time I'm filming this. We're investing $75,000 a month into ads on Instagram. So you can imagine I have to be more specific with like call outs I say, or else I'll have my inbox flooded with just a bunch of people that wouldn't be interested, right? So I want to be super specific. Again, if you don't have a bigger audience, you can be more broad, but as you're starting to grow and really using this strategy, which I'll explain here in a second, to like the max, you're going to have some filters that go through there. So the real reason why this works so well and why you should stick to this plan, or at least this sort of like fundamental plan, and by no means am I saying this is the end all be all that it works, but you want to figure out some consistent strategy that is simple and repeatable. The problem I have whenever I did this in the past was I would always overcomplicate it, and then I'd have to overthink, and then I'd have to spend hours tweaking things up. With this, it's just simple. It's plug and play. And then it also maximizes engagement because of how the algorithm is. They're looking for people that are engaged. And this sort of strategy gets people engaged at the beginning, but then re-engages them again back in the middle of the week. And then it just warms up leads. It warms up new leads. It warms up the low-hanging fruit. And it just makes it so it's easier so that you can get your message across to the right type of people. And then lastly, I think it goes without saying is you just get more conversations. And when you have more conversations, you guys, it's just a numbers game, which equals to more high ticket clients. So I want to show you how you can actually double these results and get even more high ticket clients. Because when you do this, if you only have organic and you don't have top of funnel, you're going to eventually run out, right? So this will work, but it's not something that's going to work every single week if you're not getting more people into the ecosystem. We call this your top of funnel, is how do you get more people into your top of funnel? Because essentially right now, especially if you haven't ran ads or anything, these are mostly like your middle of funnel, bottom of funnel, people that already know, like, and trust you, right? Because at the end of the day, it's just a numbers game. How do you get more qualified leads? How do you get more eyeballs on your content? The simple answer is you just need a system to not only nurture your leads, but bring in high intent prospects into your world every single day. You want more eyeballs. And that's exactly what me and my company do. We've been doing this since 2017 and helping coaches and consultants scale. So if you really want to 5x these results, I'll link another video down below that'll go over a simple ad strategy that you can get up within the next 24 hours so that you can get more people in your top of funnel. So then they rinse and repeat all the way through. And then you're having an equal way of getting new eyeballs every single week. And then you can repeat this process very consistently. And the great part is once you do this right a couple of times, then you can start hiring a team to remove yourself from doing it, kind of like how I do, where it's just rinse and repeat. So I'll drop that video in the description down below. Go check it out from here and let's go get you some more clients.